Hi everyone and welcome. In this video what we are going to do is we want to read holding register values of my remote Modbus TCP server using Raspberry Pi Pico W. So ultimately our Raspberry Pi Pico W will act as a Modbus TCP client and it will read the holding register values from our remote Modbus TCP server. Okay, so you can see here I have connected my Raspberry Pi Pico W to my system, okay, to give power to my Raspberry Pi Pico W and to program our Raspberry Pi Pico W with the help of Thorny MicroPython IDE. So main target of this video is to make our Raspberry Pi Pico W as a Modbus TCP client to read holding register values from our remote Modbus TCP server. So first let me set up our remote Modbus TCP server. So we will use Modbus slave software to set up our remote Modbus simulated TCP server. So let me go to setup and then click on slave definition. So which type of Modbus TCP server we want to set up is holding register type. Okay, so we will press OK here and then we will go to connection and then we will connect, and connection type is Modbus TCP IP and port number is 502 and then we will press OK. So you can see our Modbus TCP server is up and running. Now let me go to command prompt and let me find the IP address of my system. So IP address of my system is 192.168.1.5. okay, and let me open Modscan software, Modscan, okay, Modscan software to connect with my Modbus TCP server. Okay, so let's change to holding register, length is 10 and connect, and then we will paste our IP address here. So our IP address is 192.168.1.5 and we will paste it here and then we will press OK. So you can see our device is connected. Now let me change the value here and let me set the auto increment. So you can see value is updating here as well. So our Modscan is act as a Modbus TCP client and which is reading the values from Modbus slave software. Now I want same thing. Okay, so Modscan is working as a Modbus TCP client. Now I want my Raspberry Pi to work as a Modbus TCP client. So let me disconnect the Modscan 32. Okay, now we will open our Thorny MicroPython IDE. So here is my Thorny. Okay, so here is our Thorny. Now you can see my Raspberry Pi Pico W is connected to COM7. Now we have to write some program here to make our Raspberry Pi as a Modbus TCP client device. So let me go to my GitHub repository and we will go to Modbus. And then we want to read the holding register values. Okay, so our Raspberry Pi Pico W will act as a Modbus TCP client and it will read the holding register value. So let me copy this code. So I have copied this code and we will paste it in a Thorny, and then few things we have to change here. So first thing we have to change here is our Wi-Fi SSID and password. Okay, so our Raspberry Pi Pico W is compatible for Wi-Fi connection, so that is why we have to import the first library and then after we have to connect with our Wi-Fi. So once our Raspberry Pi is connected to our Wi-Fi, then it will able to communicate with our remote TCP Modbus TCP server. Okay, so I have pasted my SSID and password here. Now I have to paste IP address of my Modbus TCP server. So IP address of my Modbus TCP server is this one. So let me copy this and we will paste it here. And then after we have set up our Modbus TCP client here and we have let me make some space here, and then we have try to read the holding register values. Now we are reading from holding register values from 0 to 5. Okay, so starting address is 0 and register quantity is 5. So value from here to here will going to read when we run this code. So let me change this value as a auto increment and also here as a auto increment. So it will automatically increment the values by 1. Okay, and port number is 502 for our Modbus TCP connection. Now let me run the current script. So our script first try to make connection with our Wi-Fi. So once our Wi-Fi is connected, you can see the IP address of my Raspberry Pi Pico W, and it will request the data to my Modbus TCP device, which is here. Okay, and the status of holding register is here. Status means values of our holding register which we have requested. So 182, 0, 21, 0 and 19. Let me run it again and it will read those values again. Okay, so you can see 2130 52 0 50. Now let me run in a while loop. So while 1 and then indent, and we will time dot sleep and we will give some time here, and then we will run our script again. So it will read those holding register values at every 1 second. Okay, so 240, 241, 243. Okay, now let me change the value here. So 25 suppose. Okay, and it should reflect here. So now the fourth holding register, let me write to 2. Okay, so you can see value is updating here. So this is how you can use your Raspberry Pi Pico W as a Modbus TCP client, and you can make your Raspberry Pi Pico W to read holding register values from your remote Modbus TCP server. Okay, so this code is available in our GitHub repository, Raspberry Pi Pico W, Modbus and Modbus TCP client read holding register. So in this video we have covered this thing, how to read holding register values in Raspberry Pi Pico W from remote Modbus TCP server. Okay, so this is how you can use your Raspberry Pi Pico W as a Modbus TCP client which can read holding register values from your remote Modbus TCP server. So if you have any doubt, any question, any concern, then you can ask me in the comment section. You can also ping me on the WhatsApp and Telegram. So we will meet you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.